Happy Friday. Welcome back to Humane at Home. Today is our Fri-D.I.Y day, so we're going to be making DIYs for your pets that you can give them at home. Today we're going to be focusing on our small pets, so our rabbits, our rats, some guinea pigs, and some hamsters. We also have a few special guests here that are going to test out some of the things that we've made for them, a few of which are available for adoption. So we'll get to meet those guys in just a minute. But the first DIY I want to show you guys is a hanging chew toy. And this is something that you can make for pretty much any small pet. The things that I have laid out here are kind of geared more towards rabbits, if you can't tell by the large size of some of these pieces. But what these do is they hang on the side of your animal's cage. And these types of chew toys are really important for our small pets because they have teeth that never stop growing. And if you allow them to, they'll actually start to grow into each other, and it can be really painful and uncomfortable for our animals. So it's really important that we give our small pets something to grind their teeth on, something to keep them filed nice and short so that they're comfortable. So if you look here, I've got a couple different things for this DIY. The first is some butcher's twine. You can also use things like raffia or any other safe twine. And then you'll need your decorative pieces, and you've got lots and lots of options. One fun option that's pretty easy is even just to string a couple plastic shower rings together. Our rabbits love to push those around with their noses. It's really engaging for them. But as far as what you want to string on to your toy itself, the biggest concern is making sure that it is something that is going to be safe for your animal to chew on. As I mentioned, that's the whole purpose of this toy, so you want to make sure there's not any chemicals or finishes on the products that you're putting on your toy. I think it's always a good idea to maybe do a quick Google search before you give something to your pet, just to double check. So we've got some popsicle sticks here that we've drilled some holes in. These are just little wooden blocks. You can also use wooden beads. These are just little pieces of cardboard that we've cut up, and you just want to stick a hole right through the center using maybe some scissors. We've also got these cute little twigs and then some jingle bells. And this DIY is incredibly simple because all you need to do is tie a knot at the bottom of your string, and then you can start stringing on your supplies. And you can make this look however you want. If you want it to be super colorful, you can add lots of different popsicle sticks. You can add those twigs. You can add a jingle bell at the end. And then when you're done, you just want to tie it to the side of the cage. And I won't put you through watching me do the entire one of these, but I do have one that's already made. So you can see it's got that nice sound to attract the animal over to it, and then some fun things for them to chew on. And this all goes back to that idea of enrichment. So we're giving our animals something to play with, maybe a treat, but we're also going to try to exercise their brain and keep them active and engaged when they are playing with this item. The next one that I want to show you is probably the simplest one out of all of them, and it is a little ball that you can make out of a toilet paper tube. So what you want to do is you want to just take your toilet paper tube and you can kind of squish it down flat like this. Then you'll take your scissors and cut some rings just like this. So I'll cut a few. And to assemble the ball, you just want to take the little loops and start interlocking them just like this. And slowly but surely, oops, I dropped one, you will just add more and more of these little loops until you have a fully formed ball. Now, before you get to that fully formed ball part, I would recommend putting a little treat or something fun inside these little loops. If you have a cat, you can even put a little bit of catnip in there. They'll love to bat this around. Not only does it rattle, but it'll have a really intriguing smell, which will encourage your animal to come over and play with it. So these are really easy and inexpensive to make quite a few of. The next thing that I want to show you guys is kind of leading into what we've got going on the rest of this table. And that is our little hamster house. This one is fall themed, falling in love with an adorable hamster. Some pumpkins on the side because we're feeling festive today since fall just started. These are super easy and can be made with things that are lying around your house. I just used an old Amazon box and I cut the flaps off the top. And then I used those same flaps to make these little tiny dividers inside of the house. And this one I actually cut a little door in. And you can be way more creative with these than what you see here. You can make them multiple stories. You can put in more elaborate elements. But the main idea here is to maybe sprinkle a few treats around and encourage that foraging behavior, encourage them to explore and kind of roam around. So, of course, I want to show you what that looks like. So I've brought in a few guests for us to take a look at. These are two of our hamsters. We actually have quite a few hamsters available for adoption. Right now, if you look on our website, they are under the category known as Other, and you can find them there. These two little ladies did come in together along with a few other hamsters, all named after months of the year. We have July and August, and July is saying hi already. She's a very sweet little girl, but she's a little confused why I'm sticking my hand out at her. So I'm going to go ahead and pick her up, and I'll just place her in my hand like that if you guys want to take a look at her. And she does have those really cute little red eyes. That's really common in animals that have albinism or animals that are albino. Just means that she's unable to produce pigment, so we're actually able to see right through her eyes and see those veins and blood vessels working. But you can see she's picking up those little squares of newspaper that we have in there. She's already found a treat and she's hiding it. She's grooming herself in there. Earlier we had her in here and she was going through all of the doors. And so this is just a nice way for them to get out of their cage and maybe move around a bit more and find a few items. Let me see if our other friend wants to come out. So our other friend has been liking to sit behind her little wheel and chew. So we might leave her in there while July does her thing. I think she's redecorating the space, making it her own. She is going to town, sweeping up all of that newspaper. And if you guys want to make these for pets, you're not limited to just hamsters. Of course, when you have one that's this small, it's probably appropriate for a hamster. But if you've got a lot more space and maybe you've got a guinea pig, you can make something like our animal care staff have made in this photo, which is a guinea pig maze. So you can see Cecilia's hidden some food underneath all of those little tunnels and coverings so that those guinea pigs are engaging in that foraging behavior, looking for that food and getting some exercise for their body and their brain.
So these are definitely easy projects for the whole family, right?
Super easy projects for the whole family, very user-friendly, really only requires a box, scissors, and tape. So not only is it easy for everyone in your family to participate, you don't have to go to the store, you don't have to buy anything. You can probably do it with items that you have around your house. And even this bedding is just newspaper that I cut up myself. So are you making a break for it, my friend? Oh my goodness. So a good idea might be some taller walls, right? And constant supervision. You never want to leave your animals in one of these and just leave the room. Babysitting them while they're running around in these is a really good idea. Now, if you guys are feeling a little bit more creative and you want something along the same lines as my hamster house, but even more elaborate, we have the absolute expert on rats and what we call rat castles. This is Laura, one of our wonderful volunteers, and not only has she adopted a couple of our rats, but she has built the most beautiful rat homes. So she's going to tell us a little bit about her process of creating these.
Sure, thanks, Lauren. One year when we were doing our reverse trick-or-treat, somebody came up with the idea of maybe making a haunted house for them. So I went home and I got some boxes, which is something we all have at home right now, I'll bet, and just put some things together. So this is what we came up with, and in a minute I'll show you the rats playing in the house. I brought two of mine today. This is Honeysuckle, and then I also have Rose with me. And they're young. I adopted them here at the Humane Society. And right now I think we have more rats for adoption, don't we?
We have a few rats as well.
We have quite a few. So if you think this looks like fun, you might want to come down and take some home because I just love the rats. They are a lot of fun. So the first thing you want to do is we'll come to this one because it's kind of, you know, the bones of the house. What I do is I get two boxes and I duct tape them together. And be sure when you put a box on top of a box, you have a way for them to get from the one box to the top box. Stairs are kind of complicated and they don't really need stairs, but I cut these ramps. I don't know. Kind of hard to see. Maybe you can show, yeah, in here. I cut some ramps, and then I just glued some old yoga mat to them so that the rats can actually grip them. Otherwise, they slide down like a slide, and they have trouble getting up. But anyway, this one has a second story, and it has a porch that they can come out to. And I still need to paint it. to look more like a regular house. But this is kind of how you get started. So grab some of those Amazon boxes that you have lying around home and put them together like that. Another trick that I learned is to keep the bottom open. And there's a couple reasons for this. One, you might want to put them on a different surface. You might want to put them on a towel in case they go potty or something, then you have them on a towel. But the best reason is because sometimes they don't want to come out. And instead of reaching in there and trying to grab the little babies, you just lift it up and you see them and you say, okay, time to go home. So that's my little bit of advice there. Now this castle was really fun to make. And as you can see, I also incorporated some plastic from like strawberry cartons. I made windows out of some of them. I used to have a big picture window here, but somebody took that out. And that's okay. So, honey, you want to come here, sweetheart? Wee! Oh, she's stuck in my hair. Come here, you. You're so funny. You are so funny. Let's see. Don't you want to go in the house? This is Honey. Honeysuckle, really, but that's a lot to say. Anyway, let's see if she likes going in the house.
She is right at home already, and these are great ways to reduce, recycle, and reuse cardboard boxes and other materials you already have at home.
That's really true. And it's a good way to give your pet playtime, because rats especially need at least 4 hours a day of playtime with their human. They're very social animals. When you adopt a rat, you never just adopt one rat. You always try to get more than one, so 2 or even 3. And you also will only adopt the same sex so that they won't have babies. Now I put some treats in there. I don't know if you can see. Looks like Honey, oh, she ignored the ramp and went right jumping. But they'll just kind of run around and look through the windows, and they just love it. They just have so much fun in there.
And rats, believe it or not, as small as they are super intelligent creatures. They can even be trained to do tricks, just like cats or dogs. One of the most fun things you can do is look up rat trick videos on YouTube. They can jump through hoops, they can retrieve treats. They are absolutely amazing.
Yes, definitely. These guys are still a little young. They haven't found their treat of choice yet. But so far they seem to be liking the yogis, which are these little yogurt chips. And they're made out of fruit and yogurt, and they really like them. Come here, sweetheart. Come on. Oh, she already found something she's eating. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. She's going up. Whoop. There, she's up in the second story. What you doing? Hi, baby Rose. Yeah. So once I find a treat that they really like, it might be a yogi, it might be a little bit of whipped cream, or whatever they like. Then I can train them to do those tricks.
Very
but right
cool.
now they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just sleep or something.
Feeling it out.
Yeah.
Well, and they have such a nice house. It's a really good place to hang out and sleep and whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And Lauren, if our friends at home want to make more crafts, do we have somewhere else they can look?
Yes, absolutely. We have a whole section on our website dedicated to Humane at Home. And on there, we have a page that says crafts. We also have an entire DIY packet section on our website. So you just go under youth programs, and it'll be under youth service. So you can print those out at home and make them if you want to make them for the pets that you have to give to them, or you can make them to donate to our shelter for our animals that we have here. And our little friend, August, was making an appearance, but she just ran back down. So I don't know if she was on there, but she is hanging out somewhere in there.
Oh, look, she's poking out at the top. She finally made her way to the top. Hey, Rose. Hey, honey. Come on, let me see you. There you go. Yeah, there she is. There's Rosie. Hi, girls. You know, rats are so much fun. They're like little people, or little dogs, actually, because they're so excited when they see you, and they love people.
And I think, too, a lot of people think, you know, rats, they're so tiny, and maybe they're not super smart, which we know they are, and they're full of personality. As small as they are, each one has their own unique personality, and they're hilarious and super social.
They truly are. And a lot of people, you know, they're afraid of the tails. And what I always tell them is that the tails help them keep their balance when they're climbing. Hi, sweetheart. and also helps to regulate their temperature. So it's nothing to be afraid of, you know, they're just have to be there to help them out, so.
Very cool. All right, well, thank you, Laura, for showing off your rats and your amazing artistic skills with your DIY castles.
Well, thank you.
And thank you guys for watching this episode of Humane at Home. We will be back next week with some more fun content. I believe we are doing some wildlife next week, so Carly will be here introducing some of our wild animals. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you.